Hello friends, my name is Marika Mosier, and my project will be the World Holidays and Children's Literature Project. The target grade level for this unit will be first grade, and the school district that I will be teaching this to, hypothetically, would be the Clovis Unified School District of California's Central Valley, which is the school district that I grew up attending as an elementary schooler. In that particular school district, the majority of students are of white ethnic origin. However, there is also a sizable minority of Hispanic students as well as Asian American students. With that in mind, I believe that Clovis Unified School District has many strengths. One of those being parent involvement. There is a high level of parent involvement. That was my experience growing up in the classrooms. And many of the students come from households that earn a higher income than the national average, and so resources are more readily available to the students as well, which is fantastic. However, with that said, I believe that one of Clovis Unified School District's greatest shortcomings is its tendency to overlook the cultural experiences of its minority students. And while the white population does outsize all the other populations, I still think it's important to acknowledge the experiences of minority students as well as talk about their cultures, because that every student deserves to feel validated, to feel as though their experiences are represented, and to feel as though what they bring to the table matters. And in addition to that, I believe that talking about other cultures can help lessen ignorance between different ethnic groups, and it can help others gain an appreciation for other ways of doing things, as well as be able to see the humanity in those who are not like them. So with that in mind, the subjects that we will be addressing are reading and writing, because it is a children's literature-based unit. We will be introducing the different world holidays and cultures through children's books. So that is the reading portion, and the writing portion will be that we will be writing some things about it after we learn about each holiday, which I will dive into in a little bit once I start to talk about the cumulative artifact. The worldview that we will be addressing here is axiology. I did touch upon this a little bit, but I just wanted to say again, my purpose statement is to instill students with an appreciation and respect for other cultures and people groups, to affirm the cultural identities of underrepresented students, to instill students with a love for literature, and to inspire students to embrace their own unique gifts and identities on an individual level. And that last part is especially important because I think that while we can affirm shared cultural experiences of students of the same ethnic groups, we also need to recognize that they bring things individually, and students should feel seen. We should not give into stereotypes. And I believe that no matter the student's ethnic background, every student has something unique to bring to the table, and we want to value that as educators. With that in mind, I can go ahead and dive right into the standards. Now, normally I would have them presented up on this television, but it is not cooperating with me today. So, Professor Matsky, I will send you my slides if you'd like to follow along with them as you watch this video presentation. I am so sorry about that. They are really cute slides. So the first Common Core State standard that we will be focusing on is a literacy-related standard. It is CCSS.ELA-literacy.RL.1.1, and that standard is ask and answer questions about key details in a text. That will come in once we read through the different children's books, because that, in addition to gaining an appreciation for the holidays and experiences presented in the books, we do also want to focus on reading comprehension. After that, I have CCSS.ELA-literacy.1. No, I'm so sorry about that. CCSS.ELA-literacy.W.1.2. There we go. Which is to write informative/explanatory texts in which they name a topic, supply some facts about the topic, and provide some sense of closure. And now this writing exercise will be used to give the students an opportunity to show what they have learned about the different holidays as well as the different stories that we will be presenting them with. And the ethical standards that will be used in this particular lesson series are 1.2, which says, the educator shall not unreasonably deny the students access to varying points of view, which comes in through the multicultural representation. In addition, we have 1.6, which says, the educator shall not, on the basis of race, color, creed, sex, national origin, marital status, political or religious beliefs, family, social or cultural background, or sexual orientation, unfairly exclude any student from participation in any program, deny benefits to any student, or grant any advantage to any student. Like I said before, we want to instill an appreciation for other cultures, reduce ignorance, and that is where that ethical standard will come into play. With that in mind, I can go ahead and talk about the different holidays that we will be discussing in particular. Like I said before, the majority ethnic groups that we have in Clovis Unified School District are white, Hispanic, and Asian. So with that in mind, I have chosen 5 world holidays that we will be discussing over the course of 10 lessons, which are each an hour and a half long, making 15 hours of lessons total. And those holidays are Dia de los Muertos, Diwali, Hanukkah, Christmas, and Chinese New Year. And now I know there are a lot of other holidays that would be wonderful to discuss, but because time is limited, we wanted to really focus on these ones in particular because, like I said before, they do, in my opinion, best represent the majority and minority ethnic groups of Clovis, California. With that in mind, today we will be learning a little bit about Christmas because that's the time of the year that it is, so I thought it would be really fitting. And we have a super, super fun story that I'd like you guys to hear. So with that in mind, I'll go ahead and play part of it, and we'll stop partway through just for time's sake. But this is part of the story that I would read to the class in this particular lesson. Once again, I'm so sorry. Normally I would project our story on this television right here, but because of the technical difficulties, I will just be showing it to you from my laptop right here, which I hope is okay. Before we get started though, this story is called A World of Cookies for Santa. In this story, Santa goes around the globe dropping off his presents to all the good girls and boys in all the different countries of the world, and we get to see a little peek at what kinds of cookies children in other countries might be leaving for Santa based on the foods that are part of their own culture. So I think you will really like this story. Before we get started though, this is normally where I would assign each person a cookie to pay extra special attention to, a cookie represented by a different country, and normally I would either pre-assign cookies or have each student in the writing class draw a country name out of a hat, but because we are not doing that in this particular situation, we're just going to pick one to remember for you, the viewer, as well as for myself so that we can use it for demonstrations purposes. So please pay extra special attention to Japan. You will want to remember the cookie from Japan, what ingredients it has, what it looks like, what you think it would taste like. Try to picture all of those things. All right, and without further ado, here is A World of Cookies for Santa.
A World of Cookies for Santa. Follow Santa's tasty trip around the world. All around the world, Christmas is a time of giving. While Santa Claus packs his sleigh with gifts for children everywhere, they're preparing their own sweet gifts for him. Follow along on his tasty trip around the globe, country by country and cookie by cookie. Christmas Island is the first place in the world to welcome Christmas Day and Santa. Children on this little island in the Southern Pacific share their abundant coconut crop and leave him sweet, chewy coconut macaroons. In New Zealand, children remember the reindeer too and leave hay or carrots for them, as well as crunchy biscuits and milk for Santa. Santa Claus uses his magic key to open the front door when he visits children in Australia. He leaves small gifts in a sack or stocking by their bedrooms, and their bigger gifts under the tree. Their gift to him is crispy fluffy, fruit-filled, white Christmas treats, and because it's summer, a cool glass of milk or beer. Boys and girls who are too excited to sleep might hear the sound of the bell Santa rings as he leaves their home. In Japan, Hotaisha brings gifts and fortunes to children. They believe he has eyes in the back of his head so he can watch for children who are misbehaving. After he leaves their gifts on their pillow, Hotaisha enjoys a slice of strawberry-topped Christmas cake the children put out for him. Most homes in
We are going to go ahead and stop there. Normally, I would go a bit longer until we have had up to 16 cookies revealed, but for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I think we have heard enough for the purposes of this demonstration. Okay, so at this point in the demonstration, this is where I would have had these worksheets passed around to the class. As you can see, it gives them an opportunity to talk about whatever cookie slash country that they have been assigned. And so they get to talk about the name of the cookie, the country the cookie is from. They'll draw a picture of the cookie right here in this jar. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, this box right here will be an opportunity for the child to draw the flag of the corresponding country. And I do also have country and flag guides that I would pass out to them normally. I will be sure to go ahead and include that in the submission document that I send to you. And right here, they can talk about the cookie ingredients that they think might be in that cookie based on the description that they saw. It's okay if they can't name a whole lot of them. The goal is not to say things like, oh, there's this many eggs, there's this much flour. No, what we really want to be going for is we want the kids to remember the major things. So if there are strawberries in the cookie per se, we'd want that to be on here. As well as adjectives, descriptors, we just really want them to be thinking about how they might describe that cookie. Okay, like I said before, at this point in the presentation, all of the students would have opportunities to complete their worksheets based on the cookie they were assigned. I would give them a few minutes to do so, and whenever those few minutes were up, this is how I'd get their attention. I'd say, okay friends, it's time to come back in. This bell is a very handy tool. I have used it in classrooms before, and I really like it. So, but because we don't have a whole class of writing students here with us today, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this worksheet based on the Japan cookie that I assigned. That's right, okay. So, I'm just going to go ahead and talk it through. So, the name of my cookie is, in this case, if you remember, it was strawberry topped Christmas cake. So you would go ahead and write strawberry topped Christmas cake right there, and it's okay if the kids have a bit of trouble with the spellings. As the teacher, I would be walking around the room to go ahead and make sure everybody's doing okay, listen in on their conversations if they're choosing to work with partners, and kind of offer help and assistance as needed. All right, after that, which country is my cookie from? Japan. The flag here, it's nice and easy. We'd put a little red dot as seen on the flag guide, which again, I will include in my submission document so you can take a closer look. After that, we'd want to draw a really nice picture with colored pencils right in here. So we might draw like a shortcake type thing, spongy shortcake with a more neutral colored pencil with some pink strawberries and icing right on the top. Sounds delicious if you ask me. Cookie ingredients. So we might put something like strawberries, frosting, syrup, maybe cake batter even. It's really all up to the kids, and if they do choose to get a bit more specific, that is totally fine. We just want to get them observing and thinking about those things, as well as absorbing things as far as reading comprehension goes. Okay, friends, time is up. At this point, I would go ahead and ask if anybody would like to share their paper. We would love to see a few examples, and I'm sure with our particular writing class, we'd see a lot of really, really fun ones. I am positive, so that would be really, really great. After that, we would move into the next section. I would ask the students to get into groups of 4 or possibly 3, something around that area, 2 to 4, groups of 2 to 4, and I would ask them to design their dream cookie to to leave for Santa together. In the previous exercise, we really got to see students have an opportunity to show their knowledge of other cultures, show an appreciation for that, but this is the time where they really get to let their individual preferences and creativities shine. So I would ask them to get this paper, flip it over, and go ahead and design their dream cookie right on the back right here. And I would love to see what everybody comes up with. So with that said, this is where I would start talking a little bit about our cumulative artifact. This is the World Holiday Book. So, like I said before, each of the 10 lessons will be centered around a different book. Each of these 5 holidays that I've kind of represented here on my cover will get 2 books each. And through these books, the students will get to learn about the different holidays. Like I said before, they'll have an opportunity to create a cover page with this terribly drawn snowflake. That's neither here nor there. I'll go ahead and walk you through it. Normally, I'd let the class kind of pass this around as I continued to wrap it up. So here's the first page for Dia de los Muertos. So something that a student might write is, I like sugar skulls. Very, very simplistic, but you know, some students might be at that level. This is first grade, and the great thing about the World Holidays book is that they can write according to their own skill levels. So we would give them a chance to write about something that they either learned or especially liked or would like to celebrate about each of those holidays. Here we have something for Diwali. I drew a nice little rangoli right here. And it says, candles mean the light beats the dark. I actually, fun fact, I had one of the children that I used to babysit for, who he is 8. He read the book on his own, and I asked him to come up with a sentence that he thinks he might come up with if he were 6 and read the book, and this is what he gave me. Super fun, definitely got the meaning of Diwali. Next we have one for Hanukkah. I drew some gelt, aka gold coins here. And I have written, I want to eat gelt on Hanukkah. Gelt means money in Yiddish. They are chocolate. So at this point in the year, students might be able to write a few more sentences, express more complex thoughts. So I thought that would be kind of fun to represent here. Next we have Christmas. It says, I like finding presents under the tree. I hope I get new shoes. Yes, I do hope I get new shoes. I desperately need them. But anyway, this gives students an opportunity to kind of talk about what they like to do. Most students probably do celebrate Christmas. Here, there is a very high Christian population, and it has become a very secular holiday as well. And then this 5th page, we will be doing our last holiday, Chinese New Year. I've drawn the red envelope and some money here. This is something I celebrate in my own family, so this is especially near and dear to my heart. This says, I want to get a red envelope on Chinese New Year. They have money inside. And then after that, the last page will give students an opportunity to talk about their own favorite holidays. Because once again, while we do want them to learn appreciation for other cultures, we also want them to give their own individuality a chance to really shine through this lesson. So, for the sake of example, I used Halloween. I'm dressed like a princess here. And it says, my favorite holiday is Halloween. I like it because I can wear fun costumes, and that I can. So, once again, this gives students a chance to express themselves individually, while also applying the writing skills that they have learned and refined throughout the creation of this holiday book. That concludes the holiday book. So after all the lessons are done, they will each have this to take home with them and remember all of the things that they learned. With that in mind, that does conclude my World Holiday and Children's Literature project. I hope that you enjoyed the little snippets that I was able to show you. Once again, I will be showing you the worksheets via my submission. If there are any other questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. And it was a pleasure to make this. I had a lot of fun, and once again, I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Professor Matsky, for everything that you've done for me this semester. I know it has not been easy, but I do really appreciate all that you've done to reach out to me and give me an opportunity to still benefit from the course and learn to the best of my ability. So, God bless. I hope you have a great holiday break, and I might see you in the future. We will see. But thank you.